Have you met someone so kind, so gentle, that just being around them makes you feel so peaceful? Well, let me tell you a story about someone like that. He lived right in Goa a long, long time ago, more than 100 years back. His name was Father Agnello de Souza. He was born on January 21st, 1869, in a small village in Goa called Anjuna. Palm trees, sandy roads, tiny chapels, that's where Agnello grew up. He wasn't like most children. While other kids ran and played football in the fields, Agnello liked to sit quietly in church. He would look up at the statue of Mother Mary and whisper softly, "Mother, help me love Jesus with all my heart." Can you imagine that? A small boy praying instead of playing. If someone fell, he would first help them up. He was kind and happy in a simple way. When he grew up, Agnello decided to become a priest. He joined the Society of Saint Francis Xavier, also called the Pillar Fathers, priests who serve the poor, teach children, and bring hope to those who are sad and forgotten. Life wasn't easy. He had to walk long distances, often in rain, visit the sick, and pray for hours. But whenever someone would ask him if he was tired, he'd smile and say, "Do everything for the love of God." That was his favorite sentence. Do everything for the love of God. Now, something amazing happened one year. Father Agnello had been appointed spiritual director at Rashol Seminary, where young men were trained to become priests. He was there to preach a retreat, a time of silence and prayer. But at first, the students weren't listening. Some were sleepy, others distracted. It felt like talking to a wall. So, Father Agnello looked up at the big cross above the altar and whispered, "Lord, they don't want to hear me. Please let them hear you." Then he began to speak very slowly, and something happened. The whole chapel grew quiet. His voice wasn't loud, but it touched every heart. Some of the young seminarians began to cry, not out of sadness, but because they suddenly felt God's love inside them. One of them later said, "When Father Agnello looked at me, it felt like Jesus himself was looking at me." From that day on, those boys changed. They prayed more, they helped others, and many of them became priests. Can you see how powerful kindness can be? No shouting, no magic, just love. A few years later came the feast of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, November 20th, 1927, at the Rashol Seminary Chapel. The church was full, candles glowing, the choir singing beautifully. Father Agnello preached his homily with deep devotion. Near the end, his voice weakened. He was struggling to breathe. He collapsed right there in the pulpit. Everyone rushed to help, but even then he whispered that he wanted to stay until the benediction was over. Only after the blessing was given did he peacefully close his eyes and went home to God. The whole church fell silent. People began to weep. Weep not in despair, but because they felt a holy peace fill the room. They said, a sweet fragrance lingered in the chapel for hours, and the next morning, even the flowers next to his body had not withered. He was first buried at Rushall, and the priest who laid him to rest said softly, I have buried a saint. Years later, on January 10th, 1939, his remains were moved to Pilar, where they still rest today. Thousands of people visit his tomb every year. Some come to say thank you, others to ask for help. Many say they feel a calm presence, as if he's still listening, still smiling. And there are stories of people who prayed through him and saw the impossible happen. One tells of a gravely ill child who recovered after prayers were offered through the intercession of Father Agnello, a reminder that even in heaven, his compassion continues. He hasn't been declared a saint yet by the church, but for us Goans, he's already one. A saint who did not need fame, a saint who loved in silence, a saint who still whispers to every heart, do everything for the love of God. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the video till the end. If Father Agnello's story inspired you, please like, subscribe and share this video so that more people can discover the saints and stories of our beautiful Goa. See you in the next video.